like this are actually the only contact we have with the surface while we're down here. Cell phones, they're not really going to work under 33 feet of bedrock. So. Alright, so this is the first official stop of our tour. Right up here we have Soda Straw Balcony. We call it that because we have thousands of these little hollow tubes of calcite crystal called soda straws. Theoretically, you could snap one of those off and use it to drink a beverage and make a very effective straw. And like I had said earlier, that's illegal. Also, anything you drink through one of those would taste like dirt. It's not really worth it. These things form when rainwater filters through the ground and ends up picking up carbon dioxide. That's going to form carbonic acid. It's a very weak acid, but it's strong enough to eat away the rock above us. This is limestone. Limestone is made up primarily of calcite crystal. So the acid's going to eat away the rock, pick up a whole bunch of crystal, and then start to soak down into the cave. Now and again, a stalactite and stalagmite will actually grow together, fusing into a single structure. We have one right up here. This is referred to as a column. You can remember that it's called a column because it is one. Pretty straightforward. Back there, people crawl through that willingly. For fun. Who remembers the number one rule of our cave?
No touching.
No touching.
This is a fantastic example of why we can't touch things.
Why?
See, as mammals, we have a thin layer of oil on our skin. That oil is just there naturally. When you touch one of these formations, you leave some behind. Now, with that oil in place, new calcite can no longer stick to the existing formation. So if you touch these things, they can't grow anymore, basically killing the formation.
Alright.
This one is, for lack of a better term, already dead. So you'll notice it has this sort of waxy appearance to it, as well as these black marks all over. That's actually dirt from people's hands. So really, no matter what we do to this thing, it's not going to grow anymore. On the bright side of that is that you can touch it with zero repercussions. Touch this one, you won't get in trouble.
Okay.
Anything else, don't. If you don't really want to touch it that badly, it feels like a wet rock.
No, touch
There's
it.
really nothing that interesting about
Try
it.
to touch it.
Scared.
No, don't be scared. Touch it.
You want to touch it?
Yeah, touch. This is the only stone that you can touch.
Only thing, right? Might as well.
So, these draperies form from water dripping along the underside of a surface. So if you imagine holding on a wet sponge and squeezing it, the water would drip along the underside of that surface. Well, water drips along the ceiling here, and it produces this thin sheet of crystal. So that's how we get the drapery. Does that make sense? Now, this white rock here is called dolostone, and it's actually quite absorbent. It's like a sponge. So if I were to dump water over this rock, it would suck up all the water, which means it's great for absorbing tears. It's all evidence of what goes on in here. That blobby thing back there is the same material. That's more flint. If I crack that sucker open, you'll see that signature kind of bluish gray rock on the inside. Yeah. I'm a professional something.
I can't see anything. I can just see black.
That's right. We call this room the ice cream parlor. And we call that because this does look like a melting ice cream cone. Of course, you got all the kids lined up to get to it. It's Rocky Road flavored ice cream. Stay out of right? Yeah. Thanks to the one person who laughed at that.
I can back there.
A lot of people take the rock puns for gravy. Down here is a substance we refer to as cave peanut butter. It's cave mud, so water and dirt. We call it peanut butter because it has about the same consistency as peanut butter, same texture. It does not have the same taste. You'll notice these weird little imprints scattered throughout the mud. Those are from a raccoon. About a month or two back, a couple raccoons wandered down here to eat the bats while they were hibernating and played around in the mud for a while. The more circular imprints you see towards the back of the mud are actually caused by water dripping off of the stalactites from the ceiling. Now up there, we have two formations we call the kissing column. That's a stalactite and stalagmite that have grown until they just half an inch apart. The formations in this cave grow, on average, about 1 cubic inch every 100 years, which is about the size of an ice cube. So come back here in about 50 or so years, the way things are going, I'll still be working here, and that will be a column. We won't mention it because we have thousands of columns. But looking at some of these larger formations, like this big flow stone here, or the stalagmite here, you can start to just kind of guesstimate how ancient they are.
It looks like a crystal. Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like in there.
How it grows. Water is flowing over the surface right now. Right? And so this is actually melted snow from last week. It takes about a week to get down here, so that's what this is. So it's been flowing like this for thousands of years. I remember I said 1 inch every 100 years. This thing is 19 feet across, about 10 feet tall, estimated to be around 400,000 years old.
Oh. Wow.
The water for this one ends up down here in what is called the rim pool. The pool itself is about 2 feet deep, holds about 100 gallons of water. The water is safe to drink, you just have to commit a felony to get to it. This is a result of flash flooding. So this is separate from the flooding incidents that create swimming pools down here. This is water actually rushing into the cave. Water would usually be somewhere about up here. You can see there's a water line up there. And the water was quite turbulent. Would have had a few waves to it. And so those waves would have been splashing up at the ceiling here, gradually weathering away the Yellowstone into the wavy pattern that we have today. And so that's why it looks like an upside down meringue pie. We actually believe there's a whirlpool in that back corner, and that's what gives us that kind of dome dent in the ceiling. All that, because this does look kind of like a castle. And of course we have the king, the queen, and the princess. And there's also a sock up there for some reason. It's from 97. So that put our whole cave system underwater. That big ramp that we walked in on, the water was up to that. Destroyed all of our lights, we just have speakers down here. So those got red. Basically, hit the rock with some ultraviolet light, and it gets a little glowy. Now, I said it's glow in the dark, but it's very clearly glowing because I'm shining a light on it. That's kind of cheating, right?
Yes.
How do you think about that? It will store light for a short amount of time.
Oh, that's cool.
So what I can do is awkwardly shuffle through the crowd to excuse me. What about now? You can still see it pretty clearly. With larger formations like the flowstone behind me, I can just draw on the rocks.
Wow.
So, if you ever get stuck down here alone and you need a friend, you can just make one. Wilson! And then he slowly fades away, just like real friends. My fingers wiggling. That's a like one from a baby man. That's like the one that was actually in the display case. Trying to move that around the little closet to fall apart. There's already a chunk of extra display. There's a piece of mammoth tusk right there. A section of rib from something else. Look around, you can see what look like rocks are actually pieces of broken bone that have been left behind. We worked at like 35, right?
What time? How long is this tour?
It's been an hour and 3 minutes.
So,
I don't have to stop.
Mommy, since we're almost done, we can just take 2 hours.
we're gonna go pick up Daddy. You have questions, guys?
They usually have the
That was the one I said.
right here. No, it's just a more. It's actually something that. That area with the wavy ceiling. There's a big fairly flat. They'll either do something right there, we'll set up some portable lights and go to where we get view, or we'll just
Thank you for watching our video. Bye. Subscribe down below. First time